Hey, so I recorded this thing about the breakup. It totally didn't start with a breakup, but it turned into my experience with breakups and how to actually have ease with dealing with yourself after the breakup. And I didn't want to cut the first part out. It's all about fear, so I just left it there. Just to know, when you listen to this recording, the breakup stuff is gonna start in like 5-10 minutes in the recording, but the first part is great as well, so I just left it there. So happy listening. Bye bye. Hello, my name is Lee Gatzen, and welcome to the mini class about the fear. I decided to record this mini class while I was reading book A Course in Miracles. If you are not familiar with it, I would totally recommend you to go and check it out. So, there is one chapter I was reading, and the first sentence says, "When you are afraid of anything, you are acknowledging its power to hurt you." It actually kind of makes sense, and it kind of really profound to hear it out loud, because I've never really heard this to put it. I never really had it put it this way, and it totally makes sense. And this course is full of little gems like this. In like every single paragraph, it has a gem like this. You have to just stop it and think of, wow, that's true. And in the same sense, it actually gives you the key on how to get out of this fear in this instance. Like, for example, look at all the things you are afraid of. Like, are you afraid of that someone is gonna leave you? Are you afraid of that not to have money? Are you afraid of that someone is gonna scream at you? Or are you afraid that you're gonna lose a job? So these are the things we are afraid of. But we never really, and we don't really like that feeling. So we always try to avoid it. And with this sentence, it actually tells you where to go next. Instead of just being afraid of these things and living in constant fear of something actualizing, this sentence shows you where to go next to actually get out of this fear. Because, for example, for me, the biggest fear always was not to have money. And when I think of it right now, I was afraid that it's gonna destroy me when I don't have it. But I did have a moment in my life where I didn't have any money. I literally didn't have any money in my wallet or in my bank account, but it didn't destroy me. I'm still here. The same way, I always, when I was in relationships, my biggest fear was that the person who I'm in relationship with is actually gonna leave me. And I have been left many times, and I'm still here. But I still think that the fear is still there, because this is actually one of the reasons for me not to get into the relationship. And that is not great in my life either. And the same way with money. For example, I'm just gonna talk from my personal experience because it's easier, and you can work on the things that you are afraid of. Just use the same method. And the same thing, like for me with money. Like, I'm so afraid that to not have money or lose money, that first of all I don't take risks. I away uh, every opportunity which involves like investing investing money or buying money, buying something or something big, for example. But it's not it's not looking at this opportunity or possibility from what I can actually receive from it, if I'm gonna receive anything from it, if I'm actually gonna create anything from this deal. I'm actually looking from, am I gonna lose money or am I not gonna lose money, or if my, because I don't have a regular job, so I don't get like a regular money, like a paycheck. So I don't really have that security with me. So everything I create with my money, it's it's irregular. So one month I could have lots of money, some months I could have less money. And those months when I feel like there is less work, or I haven't done much work myself on my own project, it feels like I there is like a certain amount of money. When it starts to get lower than that, it starts to bring out all these anxieties, all the fears, all these things. And it's not actually productive creation, because how I'm actually gonna create something out of my being, out of who I truly am, if I'm actually start to create out of fear. Like for example, if I feel like there is the money starts to go down, or I feel like in a relationship that he might gonna leave me, the creation becomes this frantic things when you just run like headless chicken. Oh, I can do this, oh, I can do that, or I should do this and I should do that. And instead of actually going within you and creating from your heart. And when I read this sentence of when are you afraid of anything, you are acknowledging its power to hurt you. So now, instead of looking at the fear itself, like the things I'm afraid of, I'm actually looking at things that I'm acknowledging that it's gonna hurt me. Like for example, if like would not having money is actually gonna hurt me, and what is gonna hurt me? Like most like when I look back, only things that really gonna hurt me is really my pride, because I don't want anyone else to know that I'm in this situation, that I created this situation, because I live by myself. I always have food in my home, so even if I run out of money today, I still have a week to live on, and I don't have to go anywhere because I work from home, and all my bills are paid. So, would it actually destroy me? Or am I gonna actually destroy myself with all the anxiety and fear and all the things that starts to creep up when I actually don't have that money? So, instead of working on fear itself, you just work on the things that you think is actually gonna hurt you. And for example, if when I don't have money and only things that's gonna be hurt is my pride, that's in a sense easy thing to start to work on. And that is something you can actually start to work on. Or for example, if the person is gonna leave me, so how is that gonna hurt me? Am I gonna die? Obviously I'm not gonna die. Or there is going to be this because I have experienced really bad breakups in my life, But it's not the breakup itself, it's the feelings that follows after that. And I haven't really had the chance to look at it myself, but if I remember correctly, no, I don't remember correctly. I remember like some time ago, I read somewhere that with a relationship, which is actually kind of true, is when you are in a relationship, especially us women, we start to create a life together with that person. And I don't know if it's true for men. I would believe it is, but not for everyone. So it's not. It's like every woman thinks this way. But for me, is like when we get into relation, we start to create a life together with this person. We start to, and it's not like we are creating on day to day basis. Because if we were creating on day to day basis, and if we broke up today, then it's actually not gonna hurt as much as if we actually have created a lifetime together with them. So, like for example, we imagined we can get married, we're gonna buy a house together, we're gonna have children, and we're gonna age, grow old together. And this is actually what hurts the most, because in a sense, it's and it's not that actually losing someone, because I have breakups where I did care for the guy, but when I broke up or he broke up with me, it didn't hurt as much. And so if we didn't plan all this future together, then it's actually not gonna hurt as much. And if we know about these things, then it kind of removes the fear. If we actually live in the relationship on a day-to-day basis, obviously you can plan future. Only thing is you don't set it in the future. It's like you don't set the future. Like for example, when I really like TV series uh, The Big Bang Theory, and the Raj is a perfect example for this, because he there was a situation where he, oh, I think it's gonna turn into relationship stuff. So basically, there was a situation where he met a woman in a comic book shop, and he was in a relationship at the time. And so he assumed that the girl, a woman, asked him out, which she didn't. She just wanted to get his opinion on the science stuff, and so then he had a talk with her, and she says, well, if now we have a clear definition of our relationship, so we can actually exchange this information. And the Raj said, "No, as soon as you kind of talk to me, I already started imagining how gonna get married you and have a children with you." And then it actually hurts when this doesn't come true. And if you know these mechanisms, you can actually start to work on this, because this one helped me get through the breakup. Not the it wasn't actually a breakup. I met this guy who wanted to be in a relationship with me, but I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with him, because I broke up with someone very fairly recently. And then I kind of got over this that first guy, and that guy, the new guy, he wasn't available. And then like 6 months later, he was available, and I was available, and I kind of started to build up this idea that we could be together. And I told him that, and he just basically said he's not interested anymore. And but we were really good friends, and so and I knew this mechanism because I was creating in my head this idea of our kind of partnership, in a sense, like how it could happen, how it's going to be in the future, and blah blah blah. And and he was afraid that we are not going to be friends anymore. So I basically told him I need a couple days to sort myself out. And I do remember those two. I think that was 2 days where I did go to work and stuff, but I literally, when I wasn't going to work, I locked myself in the room. And I do remember this time as like me being in the darkness. So I went to this process of releasing myself from this relationship. All the things that I basically built in this relationship, which didn't happen. But we as a humans, we do these things. We start to build the castles in our head when the thing is, in reality, it actually is not happening. And so I created this in a sense, not like a life together, but idea of us being together. And so I spent these 2 days with all the tools I had with me at the time. And at the time, I didn't have the tools I have now. And actually released everything that I created around this relationship, everything I decided about this man, all the expectations, all the projections, everything. And when I came out of it, it was all gone. I literally was able to go out again with this man as a friend, and we were friends for quite some time after that, until I actually moved back to Latvia, and we kind of lost touch. But I do believe that if I still stayed in UK, we would still be friends. And I don't really have those kind of feelings for him anymore. And I never had after those couple days when I actually released all the thing. So this is kind of my tip on how to deal with the breakups, because even the guy I broke up with before, when I broke up with him, I was together with him for 10 months, and I kind of distanced myself from my friends, from everyone, and that was my thing. When I was in relationship, all that existed was the relationship. And when I broke up with him, and actually I was working for him at the time as well. And so literally there was a situation that one day I was his girlfriend, and next day I was just his employee. And that was a weird situation, and I would never recommend anyone to do it. But that's what I did. And I realized we are broken up now, and I don't have any friends. I don't really have anything to. Only thing I could do now is just sit in my room and cry my eyes out. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to move on. And there was one thing that actually didn't help me to move on, which I'm gonna tell you after this. And there was so basically how to get not to sit in a room and cry my eyes out what I did is there was this thing called Meetup, or I think that's it's basically an online place for people to find like-minded people, and it's not about dating. It's about actually interests and hobbies. I think it's a meetup or meeting. I can't remember the website now. So basically, I went on the website. I found all the things in my area, all the groups in my area that has my interest. There was a singles group, there was meditation group, there was a photography group, there was arts group, all different kind of groups. I can't remember. I joined all of them. I joined all the groups that I could, uh, where I could find meet like-minded people. And I think I even joined Yes group at the time as well. Or maybe it was before. No, it was then. Because from this my idea, from this action, I actually met lots of people. And it's almost like through this action alone, I created completely new group of friends because I kind of alienated and distanced myself from all the previous ones. Uh, some of them due to my new relationship, some just we didn't have much common anymore. And so basically, those few years after I broke up with the first guy until I moved back to Latvia in 2014, I created like really great friendships. And with some of them, I'm still sometimes keep in touch, and I see them when I go back to UK. And so basically, it's jumping in a deep end. And one thing that didn't that kind of was in a way of me moving away from previous relationship. It wasn't actually because I actually stayed to work for this guy for few more months after that. But what one thing that didn't help me move on was when we were breaking up, when he said that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, he said that he needs a break for a few months. And I know that at the time he wanted to break up with me completely, but he didn't want to hurt me as much, so he gave me a hope that there's gonna be something within that in the next few months we might be able to get together. And I know that he it was easier for him to break up with me that way, but it actually didn't make easy for me in the long run. And it made in a sense ease for me at the time, because if he broke up completely, I might have felt differently. But in a sense, I was holding myself to this hope that in a couple months we might get together. And if he didn't say that, if he said that we are broken up, we are done, then I might have moved on much quicker. And so and just look at this in a sense as well, that if you are breaking up, don't think just of that moment. Think of of uh, of it in the long run. Because if you break up right away on the spot with no, and especially if you are the one doing breaking up, just be honest and say it as is. Because what usually is why is usually for the other person to move on. Of course, there are people who don't want to take it and make it in their heads that they're really not breaking up because they don't want to face reality. But most of the time, what actually is not allowing as a person to move on is because the person was lied to. So be honest, be brutally honest, and because that is actually what, because the other person feels that you are lying, and in a sense, it gives them this sense of hope. And just tell them how it is. And maybe sometimes you don't know how it is. And then usually you just know that you want to get out of this relationship. And maybe that's what even you need to say that, because I do know that some relationship that I even ended, and it's not just a romantic relationship, it's a relationship with friends as well. If I just told them honestly that I just need to get out of it. In this moment, I don't know what that is, but I just need to get out of it and be honest with it. And because if you break up with the other person without being honest, it's actually gonna eat something in you as well from inside. You're gonna feel guilty. You're gonna feel guilty anyway by breaking up. But if you are actually breaking up with a lie, in the long term, it's actually still gonna creep up. Okay, that this conversation turned to something that I wasn't expecting to talk about. But nevertheless, um, it's my take on a breakup. On this is my personal experience. So if it resonates with you, take whatever you need with it. Maybe, and I hope it helps someone. And if it doesn't. We have our own experiences. We each of us are different. We don't go through experiences the same way. And just take what resonates with you and discard everything else. And thank you for listening and have an awesome life. Bye bye.